why it is so very difficult for a cerebral palsy CP child to acquire clarity of speech. And add to that deafness. So, but still, clarity of speech, we try to do it. We try. Now this child finds difficulty keeping the mouth closed all the time. That you must get after her. Okay? They're drooling sometimes. They're drooling. Even the swallow is not there. So when a CP child comes to me for speech, the first thing I do to the mother, tell her that please, for God's sake, don't pay emphasis on speech. And another very, very grave mistake happens in the mindset of the parent, because they are not aware. It is the duty of the person who is taking care of the child to make them aware of this. She is not deaf, you are not bothered about that. But when my child is deaf and CP, what am I noticing first? It's a CP, na? Can't walk, can't sit, can't hold the thing, can't swallow, drooling. And I am after that. Deafness is not very visible. I am not even expecting speech or anything from a young child. So most of, like Nikhil's mother, we knew, although we knew he was deaf, we were not bothered about the deafness at all. First we wanted to get this right. And that is the mistake that you make. We were so worried about getting his gross mover movements, and we thought we will talk about the speech later. You don't have to start treating him for speech, but speech comprehension starts to start from the word go. And first and foremost, all you have to do is to make the hearing aids available to him, make the sound available to him. You have to make the sound available, make the child. There's nothing special that you have to do for him. For therapy, that you wait for this, and then that is what this lady had done. She thought she would wait, get him to walk properly and do everything else, and that didn't happen in any case, and the hearing aids were not put on till he was 5 or 6. So there was no stimulus. While in Shobhit's case, they knew he is deaf, and this thing has, the first thing you do is to put on the hearing aids. It does not cost him, no motor movement is required, no motor ability is required to listen. You don't need any movement, it happens. If you put on the hearing aid, there is no motor movement required. Okay, so, but we make sound available to him. And making sound available to him, and you go on talking, you insist on the comprehension level of his language. That you can go on increasing. He begins to understand. CP, deafness, they are available, they are sort of, from birth, those conditions are very, very visible. It's not that it took you a very long time to understand what was wrong with it. It's very, very obvious. Even deafness is obvious. It's very, very easy. And so you have to start treating both of them. Treating the motor, this thing is going to take time, but there is no reason why he can't start listening and comprehending. This is what I would like all the CP, and this is what I explain to them. When a CP child comes to me with multiple handicap, this is what I state. And they expect me to start doing something. Like that Danita. The child was drooling, the child couldn't close. She's not swallowing, she's not chewing. What speech is she going to do? What speech can she do? So first that. All the things. She's not swallowing, she's not chewing, still she's not chewing. So you help the mother with all the activities of feeding, and mouth forms two important. The main is, of course, eating. Sucking, blowing, all those they are required. Or the tongue pushing the food from one part of the mouth to the other, the salivation, controlling that salivate, all that. Keeping the mouth closed and chewing and swallowing, again synchronized movement. All the movements required for eating, all of them are required for speaking. If those are not there, how are you going to speak? But the comprehension of language doesn't have to stop. Having made like you have been talking, your neurologist, constantly you must talk to her while you are doing anything with her, isn't it? comprehension of language is good. A speech will come. A speech, even if it doesn't come.
She spent a long time with gestures. And we in
Doesn't
fact
matter.
forgot about it. So we would also gesture back. Then it needed that reminder that...
Of course, of course, of course. Oh, she was using gestures because she's not capable of those movements. But that doesn't mean you had to respond with okay. There is the therapy, and I'm sure your therapist reminded you, isn't it? That you don't
I
have to
reminded myself, would I realize it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm used to sign language with my mother who's also hearing impaired. So
Oh,
it
I
became
see.
a very
Okay.
automatic response with her.
Okay.
Which would
But
ask
have
me
you
for
been,
water.
with your speech and language are very good? Were you deaf since birth?
No, since
okay,
the birth
okay.
of my older daughter.
Okay, it's an acquired.
Acquired.
Due to hereditary
It's
reasons
genetic,
also.
but yeah, it's
Genetic,
acquired.
yes, yes. But then you had passed the language stage.
Yes, I passed
These
that.
children had not.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a big
There is a
difference in that.
difference, yes.
Big difference in that. But it is very possible to develop speech and language even if you start it the right way. And speech and language, comprehension of language, perception of sound starts from the first moment of your life. Some people say even before sound perception. Because that is one sense which is absolutely perfect at birth. Sound is perfect at birth. Even they say even before birth, the fetus is hearing. In Mahabharata we have this Abhimanyu's story only, but they were aware that fetuses could perceive sound. They couldn't name it, they couldn't say that this sound comes from this, but they could hear sound. And the proof of that has been shown by the fetus, the babies in your stomach at that time, in the uterus. The bodily sounds like the beat, heartbeat are there. In the orphanages, there are not enough people to soothe a deaf baby, a baby as such. You know, they just play the recordings of this look, the heartbeat. What happens to the baby? Yes, they're used to that sound, and it is a soothing sound for them. So it shows they're used to that sound. So anyway, what I was trying to say was, language is a medium of sound symbols. Sound is available to the child right from the beginning, from the moment of birth, maybe before. Language is an absolutely symbolism par excellence. All the faculties of the brain are required for language learning. And language is vital, it is a fundamental need for human living, human life. Language is a totally, purely symbolic thing. Purely, all the functions, the motor of course, the sensory, unless you hear, because it is a system of sound symbols. You have to hear the sound symbols. And you are able to assess sound, you are supposed to place sound, and you are supposed to perceive sound means what? Give meaning to the sensation of sounds. What is perception? Giving meaning to sensation. Okay? I've heard a sound, but unless I name it, and naming that sound and knowing that this sound is that, I have to take that child and show her, see, this is what is making that sound. This is what is making, this is what we do with them